By the end of 2026, the way you experience your own body will change forever. You've mastered the board, you've studied the tides, you've logged the sessions, the sets, the swells. You've worn the rings, the watches, the patches. You chased sleep scores and step counts and recovery metrics until the data felt like a second job. And you are still tired. Here's what nobody in the performance world is talking about yet. You haven't mastered your biology. And right now, your biology is running a completely different program than the life you're trying to live. Today, I'm going to show you the exact biohacking technology being used by elite performers, surfers, neuroscientists, and high-output executives alike to track something most people don't even know exists: your internal waves, the biological rhythms that govern your energy, your focus, your recovery, and the precise windows where your performance is capable of something extraordinary. And I'm going to show you how to optimize every single one of them before you even touch the water. I'm Dr. Elias. This is Vitawave. Because health is not a destination, it's a rhythm you learn to ride. We don't just treat symptoms here, we decode your biological waves to turn back the clock from the inside out. If you're wearing a wearable right now and you think the data alone is going to transform your performance, stay with me. What I'm about to walk you through will completely reframe how you understand your own biology in 2026. Let's start with a crisis, not one you'll find on the news, one you're probably living inside right now. It's called biological drift. Biological drift is what happens when your body's master internal clock, your circadian architecture, your ultradian rhythms, your hormonal cycles becomes completely desynchronized from the actual schedule of your life. And in 2026, it is affecting more people more severely than at any other point in recorded human history. Why? Because we have never lived inside this much stimulation. More blue light per waking hour, more cortisol triggers before breakfast than our grandparents encountered in a week. More schedule fragmentation, more time zones crossed, more notification spikes, more context switching. The human nervous system was simply not built for what we are asking it to endure right now. Here's what biological drift actually looks like in real life. You wake up foggy after full 8 hours. You hit that crushing 2 o'clock wall and no amount of caffeine moves it. You lace up your shoes for a workout and your body simply does not respond the way it used to. Your focus scatters within minutes, your mood swings on a hinge, your motivation shows up unreliably, if at all. And somewhere underneath all of it, you know something is off. But every app you've tried just tells you to close your rings. Rings close, life unchanged. That is the gap. Data without direction, numbers without a narrative. And that is exactly what this new generation of 2026 biohacking technology was engineered to solve. What I'm presenting today is not a gadget review. It's a protocol, a living integrated lifestyle framework I call the Wave, a system that stops you from fighting your own biology and starts using precision technology to automate your energy, sharpen your cognition, and align your performance windows with a level of accuracy that previous generations of humans couldn't have imagined. And it all begins with the most underrated biological lever on the entire planet: light. Most people think light management means wearing orange glasses and setting a no screens after 9 rule. That is 2019 thinking, and in 2026, that approach is as relevant as a fax machine in a surgical suite. Let me show you what's actually happening at the frontier. It's called Active Photonics, and it is fundamentally different from anything that came before it. The Neuralink Smart Lens, one of the most discussed performance devices in elite circles this year, uses what's called subperceptual light pulses. These are microbursts of wavelength-specific light calibrated to your individual circadian profile, delivered directly to their photoreceptors in rhythmic sequences that your conscious mind never even registers. The result? Jet lag eliminated in under 60 seconds, brain fog cleared before your first coffee, melatonin production adjusted on demand, not by blocking light, but by actively programming your photoreceptive system with surgical precision. This is the difference between passive and active. Your old blue light blockers were passive. They stopped something from happening. Active Photonics does something categorically different. It speaks your biology's language. It sends a clear signal to your photoreceptive system. It is morning now. It is time for focused output. Wind down in 40 minutes, and your endocrine system responds accordingly. Think of it this way. Your old glasses were earplugs. The Neuralink Smart Lens is a conductor's baton. I want you to think about the last time you crossed time zones or pulled back to back late nights or had one of those stretches where the schedule completely fell apart. Remember that feeling of being fundamentally out of sync, like your body was running 3 hours behind your mind, like you were present in the room but somehow not there.
That's not weakness, that's physics. Your photoreceptive system received the wrong signal, and everything downstream, cortisol rhythm, glucose curve, serotonin baseline, dopamine sensitivity, cascaded into disorder. The light engine reset is pillar 1 of the wave protocol because light is your biological master signal. Correct the signal, and everything downstream begins to realign itself without you forcing it. But light is half the equation, because while your eyes are receiving the world, your body is running its own chemistry. And in 2026, we can finally read that chemistry in real time with no needles, no labs, no waiting. I want you to imagine knowing, not guessing, not estimating, not hoping, but knowing to the precise minute exactly when your body is primed for peak output. That is what 2026's non-invasive biosensor patches have made possible. These are ultra-thin adhesive strips, smaller than a postage stamp, that adhere to your inner forearm or upper chest and continuously track 2 of the most critical performance biomarkers in your entire physiology, cortisol and glucose. No needles, no blood draws, no clinic visits, just clean, continuous, real-time biological data streaming directly to your phone. Now here's where this becomes something genuinely extraordinary. The AI layer processing this data does not simply display your numbers on a graph. It learns your personal biochemical signature over 7 to 14 days. It maps your cortisol rhythm, your glucose response curves, your inflammatory markers, and then it begins predicting something that will change the way you structure every single day. I call it your performance window. Your performance window is a precise, individualized alert, a 3 to 5 minute signal that fires on your phone when your cortisol curve, your glucose stability, and your cardiac coherence align to create the optimal biological conditions for either intense visible output or deep, high-quality cognitive work.
When that alert fires, that is your moment. Full stop. That is when you begin the training session. That is when you sit down for the most consequential, creative, or strategic work of your day. Chrono-optimized performance research consistently shows output improvements of 200 to 300% when work is aligned to biological readiness, not to a calendar slot. 200 to 300%, not from working harder, not from more caffeine, not from a new productivity system, from working at the right biological moment. But here's the reality nobody wants to talk about. What happens when the data looks bad? What do you do when your cortisol is spiked above your threshold, your glucose is unstable, and your performance window isn't coming for 3 more hours? Most people push through and compound the damage, or they collapse into avoidance. Both are the wrong response, because 2026 has given us a third option, one that can manually guide your nervous system back to its operational baseline in under 3 minutes. And you feel this one. You don't just track it. The nervous system is not a metaphor. It is a physical, biological system, and physical systems respond to physical input, which is why bone conduction haptic technology is one of the most genuinely significant developments in the entire performance space right now. Here's the mechanism. New haptic straps worn at the wrist deliver precision microvibrations through your bone structure directly to the pathway of the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the primary channel of your parasympathetic nervous system, the system responsible for recovery, repair, digestion, and restoration. Stimulate it with the right frequency in the right rhythm, and you activate what's known as the vagal relaxation response, a measurable whole-body shift from sympathetic overdrive to parasympathetic calm. The 2026 devices doing this use vagus nerve pulsing, specific rhythmic vibration sequences calibrated to your real-time stress state via live HRV data delivered in precisely timed patterns that guide your nervous system from high alert to deep calm in approximately 3 intentional breath cycles. I'll be honest with you, I was skeptical about this one. I've tested a lot of devices in this space. A lot of them are solving imaginary problems with impressive packaging. But I used this strap after a 14-hour production day, running on 2 coffees, fractured schedule, HRV showing severe stress indicators. Put the strap on, followed 3 guided breaths, and within 90 seconds I felt a physiological shift. The chest loosened, the jaw unclenched, the mental chatter decelerated from a sprint to a walk.
That wasn't relaxation, that was vagal tone activation, and those are not the same thing. The most advanced 2026 haptic systems go even further. They integrate AI-driven audio environments that shift their frequency composition in real time, continuously adapting to your live HRV data. As your heart rate variability moves through its natural oscillations, the soundscape you're experiencing is adjusting in sync, guiding, nudging, working with your nervous system's own rhythm rather than overriding it. Your biology leads, the technology follows. This is what it means to ride the wave instead of fight it. Your body has its own intelligence, its own cadence. The smartest thing technology can do in 2026 is learn that cadence and amplify it. And the most profound frontier of the wave protocol, it's not something you put on your body, it's something you live inside. What if your home already knew you were entering deep sleep and adjusted itself accordingly? What if the temperature in your room dropped precisely 1.2 degrees Celsius at the exact moment your core body temperature needed to fall to maximize slow-wave sleep architecture? What if your oxygen concentration was quietly elevated while you slept without you doing anything at all? This is the 2026 autonomous biohabitat. The convergence of wearable biometric data and smart home automation has reached an inflection point where your living environment can function as an extension of your nervous system. Here's the sequence in life practice. Your wearable detects that you've transitioned into deep sleep stage 1. It sends that signal to your smart home hub. The system responds. Ambient temperature drops by 1 degree. Lighting extinguishes completely. A low-frequency air cycling protocol activates, gently elevating oxygen concentration in the room by 4 to 6%. Sound dampening panels activate near the bedroom door. You don't configure this in the moment. You don't do anything. Your environment does it because your biology asked it to. And when you begin naturally transitioning out of deep sleep, approximately 25 minutes before your optimate wake window, the sequence reverses. Room temperature rises gradually, 1/10 of a degree every 90 seconds. A 10 nanometer shift in ambient light frequency replicates a natural dawn signal. A subaudible low-frequency tone begins building, activating your cortisol's natural morning rise, so that when your alarm sounds, you're already 40% of the way into your waking state. You don't drag yourself out of sleep, you arrive into wakefulness. For the first time in human history, we have the technology to make our environment serve our biology rather than forcing our biology to survive our environment. And when every layer of the wave protocol operates in concert, the photonic lens, the biosensor patch, the haptic nervous system strap, and the biohabitat, something exponential happens. The combined effect is not additive, it is multiplicative. Each system amplifies the effectiveness of every other system because they are all reading from the same biological source, you. All right, let me give you the exact sequence. The Wave Riders 2026 Unified Health Protocol. 5 steps every day. Step 1, morning light calibration. The moment you wake, before your phone, before your coffee, before anything, your Neuralink smart lens activates a 60-second morning photonic pulse. This sets your circadian master clock for the day. This is the biological foundation everything else builds on, non-negotiable. Step 2, biosensor patch activation. Apply your cortisol glucose patch before breakfast. Give the AI layer 30 minutes to establish your morning biochemical baseline. Think of this as checking today's biological weather before you decide what the day can hold. Step 3, performance window prioritization. Keep your performance window alerts active on your phone. When the alert fires, you stop what you're doing and you use that window. Schedule your most important work, your hardest training session, your most critical decisions around your biology, not around your calendar. Step 4, HRV-guided nervous system recovery. Anytime your biosensor data shows cortisol above your personal threshold, activate your haptic strap immediately. 3 guided breath cycles. Vagal pulsing brings you back to operational baseline before you make any significant decision or attempt any meaningful physical output. Never push through a red line signal. The data is the coach.
Step 5. Biohabitat synchronization. Ensure your wearable hub is fully integrated with your smart home system. Set your deep sleep protocol to activate automatically at sleep onset. Let your environment do the biological heavy lifting while you rest. You worked all day, your habitat works all night. 5 steps, 5 integrated systems, 1 unified protocol. This is not optimization theater. This is not adding complexity to your morning. This is building a biological operating system, one that learns your rhythms, speaks your language, and makes the default state of your daily environment aligned with peak human performance. Here's what I want you to leave you with. Most people will spend years trying to optimize the wrong things. They count calories while ignoring cortisol. They chase sleep hours while ignoring sleep architecture. They buy the most expensive wearable on the market and then stare at their data like it's a stock ticker. Numbers moving, life unchanged. The WAVE protocol isn't about adding more friction to your morning routine. It's about building a biological operating system, one where your environment, your technology, and your daily rhythm are all calibrated to the same frequency, where the default state of your life supports your biology rather than working against it. Because at Vitawave, we believe something deeply. Health is not a destination, it's a rhythm you learn to ride. We don't just treat symptoms, we decode your biological waves to turn back the clock from the inside out. The technology I've shown you today is real. It exists now. And if you deploy it as an integrated system, not a collection of gadgets, but a coordinated biological protocol, you will feel a measurable shift within 2 weeks that will permanently change how you understand your own capacity. So here's what I want you to do right now. Drop a comment below. Tell me which of the 5 pillars resonates most with you right now. The photonic lens, the biosensor patch, the haptic strap, the biohabitat, or the full unified protocol. I read every single one, and I build future content around what you tell me. Subscribe to Vitawave if you haven't yet, because next week I'm walking you through the exact morning sequence I've been running for the last 60 days and the one biomarker result that genuinely surprised me. You don't want to miss that one. And send this to one person in your life who keeps telling you they're exhausted, not burned out, not lazy, biologically drifting, because now you know the difference and now you know there's a way back. Ride your wave. I'll see you in the next one.